the fire inside, the fire inside. When tones dry, we go like-minded souls, ready to roll 100%.
I get asked all the time, what is a vigilante? What does it mean to be a vigilante? And so to explain that, I'm just going to kind of explain where the vigilantes came from. When I started the group, I honestly thought there was going to be like 10 or 20 people who really like the scrap that would want to be a part of the behind the scenes, helping pick out the guests and make the questions. And I never dreamed that the vigilantes would grow into what it has grown into. Over 700 like-minded souls. If you're a vigilante, you are never alone. We have members from across the country. We have members from across the globe. And it's just amazing what it's become. If you're in there, then you get to be in the Discord. And the Discord is where we do all of our discussions and people go live and they talk and they ask questions. And we have a channel for bitching and moaning, for presenting classes. It's amazing the fellowship that is involved in being a vigilante. And it's not just that, there's so many other benefits. You get access to the vigilante only swag shop. You get the 15% discount on all merch from Firehouse Vigilance. You get the after parties. You get the vigilante get-togethers when we're all at the same place and we get together and we raise a glass and do a toast and have the vigilante creed. You get the vigilante coin when you hit your 1-year anniversary with your number. The fireaways, the forums, the archives, all of the quarterly projects that are coming that you get to be a part of and get to be behind the scenes on. It's grown into something bigger than I ever imagined. And I want people to know about it. I want people to be a part of it. If you're not a vigilante, why not? I don't know how big it could be. I don't know. I mean, the vigilantes are where the work is at. They're the ones who are getting stuff done. And it's phenomenal to be a part of it. I wanted to get on here and explain where it started, how it came to be, and ask you, if you're not a vigilante, why not? Go to patreon.com/thevigilantes. That's where you sign up. It is $5 a month. I mean, you can't even get a cup of coffee for that anymore. $5 a month and you get to be a part of this unbelievable group. Go to patreon.com, sign up, become a vigilante, and I will see you on the Discord.
Did we start at the technique level? Did he understand the who, what, where, when, why, and to what degree? And when we get done with it, can we measure it and evaluate where we were successful or where we failed?
When tones dry, we go. When tones drop, we go.
Corley Moore, Firehouse Vigilance. It is weekly scrap number 344. We are live from L.I.F.T with a live audience. I don't think they can hear you, but make some noise. They probably did hear you. My guests tonight are two of my heroes, and I'm excited for both of them to be on the show. Todd Edwards brings over 41 years of fire service experience to the table, including more than 30 years with Atlanta Fire Rescue. He is the owner of Fire Life Training. He is a nationally sought speaker dedicated to modernizing fireground operations and training for the next generation. Bassel Ibrahim. Bassel is a 20-year veteran of the fire service and currently serves as the company officer of Tower One. Is that still correct?
That's correct.
Okay, making sure. Orlando Fire Department. He's the founder of Proactive Rescue Solutions. He travels all over the world to train firefighters in RIT survival truck operations. Also the founder of the Firefighter Mayday Survey, a data-driven initiative dedicated to improving firefighter safety and survival nationwide. Welcome, my brothers, to scrap number 344.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks a bunch. Glad to be here. It's going to be a
this
good
is
one.
cool. I've never done one like this.
This
I'm
is
usually in my office by myself, so it's pretty cool.
anything you want to add to the intros? Anything I got wrong?
No, nothing wrong.
Perfect.
Okay, audience, please. I usually say this to the internet audience. Internet audience, I'll look at the camera. Get your questions ready for Bassel and Todd. Audience here, get your questions ready for Bassel and Todd. It should be fun. I'm going to do the sponsors because that's always part, and then we will get to scrapping. Newest sponsor, huge shout out, Fire Cold Plunge. I've actually got one in my garage. I love to use it. They sell a lot of fire departments their cold plunge because it is built solid, low maintenance, it gets cold, and it has a very small footprint. It stays at temp, so there's zero prep. After a workout, after a call, you can just hop in and cool off. Firecoldplunge.com. Everything in the fire service gets tested: training, instincts, equipment. That's why Snap-Tight Hose designs and builds its hose to perform no matter the challenge. Durability, packability, kink resistance. Every single line is tested before it leaves the factory, so you know you can count on it. Snap-Tight, American-made, firefighter trusted. Visit snaptighthose.com to learn more or find a distributor near you. FirestationFurniture.com, they provide a complete line of quality furniture for your firehouse. Firefighter owned and operated. They understand the strain firefighters put on furniture and offer furniture that's built to last. Visit FirestationFurniture.com for more information. And of course, I love Flame Decon. I love Tara and her black soap. Wash your balls. Get the nasty stuff off you. Flame Decon. Okay, all that being said, do you guys remember the first time you came on the scrap? It was the year 2021. It was 5 years ago.
Time flies, that's for sure.
I kind of remember it because I'll be honest, I was nervous.
Yeah.
I was nervous. I'd never been on a show like that, so it was almost intimidating for me.
Basil was episode 93. I had to go look this stuff up. 93 and 97. So you guys were very close to each other. The second time you came on was 133. That was at Texas, and then 134, the Mayday mega scrap, one of the first mega scraps.
That was a good one.
So again, and then the rest of the numbers are, and I'll run these numbers out there because it's pretty cool. It is pretty cool. I wrote them down. I swear to God. Oh yeah, somewhere. Yeah, Basil 93, then 133, 214, and then you came back to talk about the firefighter Mayday survey 275. 4 times on the scrap. And then Todd Edwards, 97, 134. You came on in 193, and then the low water fire, number 288, a mega scrap, low water fire, which means, I don't know if you realize this or not, but that makes tonight live in Louisiana. This is the thing I don't know. There's so many badass instructors here at this conference. When I was going to do a live scrap here, it's like, how do you pick who's going to come up here on stage and be on the scrap? You know, because you don't want to insult people. You don't want to have 40 instructors because they're all badasses. But the reason I chose these two is because it is their 5th time to be on the scrap. And it just happened to work out that it was going to be live. It was going to be Louisiana. And so, with that being said,
The jacket. Oh, that's a good one.
We're a different breed now, bro.
you were the first one, 93. So you were before Todd. So you're actually number 7.
Oh, all right. That's what I'm talking about. Nice. Well, I'm on a change then.
Nice. Thank you.
You got to model them.
Oh yeah.
I hope they fix. We had to sneak around and ask.
This is nice. I wear medium, so this is perfect.
We had to sneak around and medium. I'd ask your significant others what size jacket. So
And then I think she asked me. I said why, and she didn't tell me. So
Right.
This perfect fit. Thank you. Very nice. Thank you very
I'm gonna
much.
get a picture.
What an honor.
Oh, yeah.
What an honor.
you guys stand next to each other like you like each other.
Oh, this is nice. That's fine. I don't care about that one anymore.
Hey, you actually look sexy.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks a bunch, Corley.
No, it's awesome. Thank you
Yeah,
guys.
that's awesome.
Thank you guys for being a
Thank you.
part of this 5 times each. It's unreal. There's only 7 of you.
Oh, that's awesome.
You are in a
Thank
very
you.
elite club.
That's cool.
All right. All right. All that being said, we are at L.I.F.T. It's an amazing, amazing time. And we are going to now have a good scrap and pick these guys' brains. And so I'm going to kick it off and tell you, I'll just do a soft toss. I'll pick who I'm asking. I'll ask Basil first and say the importance of getting to a conference like L.I.F.T, the importance of getting to outside training. Kick it off with that topic and just tell everybody why you think it's important that you get outside the walls of your department.
I think it's really important to go outside, mainly because the only way to really grow is to get outside of your comfort zone and learn from other people's experiences, good or bad. Now, you can get that within your department, but you're still within the same, blinders. It's good to go outside. You get different perspective from different parts of the country, and that may open your eyes to completely different tactics that may not completely apply directly to yours, but you can always take something out of it and bring it back. And really, until I started going to conferences and all, mainly the smoke divers program, which started it, I thought I was a badass fireman. And you clearly get humbled. And if you have the right mindset in regards to training, you're able to grow exponentially faster than you would if you just stayed in your, bubble. So that's what I think. I mean, these type of conferences, they're so valuable. You can get training online, but being around like-minded people, you feed off each other without any egos. That's what I like most about these conferences, man. Like, egoless and just raw training.
Right on.
It's very valuable.
Yeah, I think everything Bassel said was 100%. I think what's very unique is that a 20-year-old firefighter can walk up to a veteran like a Clyde Gordon, who just went to thousands and thousands of fire in Houston, Texas. And, somebody like a Chief Gordon and some of the guys in this room right now, they're instructors. He'll sit there and actually he'll talk to you like, God dang, I shouldn't ask Clyde Gordon shit. So there's such an advantage for our younger firefighters to be experiencing and being able to be exposed to people like Corley and Bassel, the Clyde Gordons, the Steve Robertsons. And it's just such a huge advantage to be able to go back to the department and have those interactions. And one of the things I tell all my guys when we're teaching, I'm always blown away what I learn. I have never been to a conference yet or taught a class at a department that somebody didn't teach us something. I think Bassel will agree with me. It's amazing the knowledge that's really out there. And we always try to open that door to learn from you guys. And I learned a bunch today, even as I didn't even change. I just came right from our hot site to be here tonight. So it's just a really cool experience for us every single time. It's rejuvenating for us as much as it is for the firefighters that attend these conferences. So it's a huge plus. And credit to L.I.F.T. They're doing an incredible job at this conference.
No doubt about it, man.
Awesome conference for sure.
Doing great. All right, there's the soft toss out of the way. If you want to ask a question, just stand up. There's a mic set up right here. So you got to stand up, walk to it, and we'll acknowledge you. You may have to stand there for a minute depending on who's talking at the time. But if you want to ask them a question, I've got a question coming from the internet audience as the first one. It's coming to Bassel. I'm pulling it up, and it is from Joe Gavita. Question: has anything stuck out to you so far while reviewing Mayday entries?
Okay. So that's, that answer, that's a great question that we can take in so many different,
Lots of ways to go.
so many different ways. But the biggest thing that struck me on it is the lack of mandated formal training from fire departments across the country. And I'm not even talking about physical standards or annual PT standards. I'm just talking about training requirements in regards to RIT from the boots on the ground, and the command side of RIT is even less. I should have brought my stuff to give you the accurate numbers, but it's less than 12% of departments that require command level training for Maydays.
Wow.
And I think it was 66% of fire departments do not have a formal requirement for training in the RIT or survival room.
Wow.
So that's just one avenue that we can take this. Some of the others were, no activation of the emergency button on the radios for declaring Maydays. There is also zero packaging of the firefighter, zero. They've all been dirty drags to get the victim out. So now if you dissect these calls, and when we call back, because we do follow-up interviews, if the person is willing to do it, and you call them, and out of those calls, which is every single one of the surveys that have been submitted so far, I asked them, I'm like, would it have made a difference if the victim, was packaged? And they give me the kind of roundabout answer. They think it would make a difference, but when they're in the middle of it,
They're not thinking about it.
It's easy to Monday morning quarterback all these calls when you're in that mode of high stress. Your brother or your sister is down. A lot of people revert back to what we've been training on. And if you don't have the muscle memory in the repetition of, hey, we're going to troubleshoot, talk to the victim, fix this, fix that, package and extract, you're not going to replicate it. Now, don't get me wrong, as far as tactics goes, I'm not saying every patient, every victim needs to be packaged. That's not what I'm saying. Common sense, right? If you're locating the down fireman close to an egress or without any obstacles, grab and go, man. It's not rocket science. Grab and go, fix the person outside. That's the fastest way to do it. Don't overcomplicate it. But we can really take this Mayday survey stuff in all kinds of directions, you know, but that's some of the big things that struck out to me. The lack of training in that realm, and you know, the lack of packaging, and you know, some of the tools that we have to declare a Mayday or to make ourselves known are not being used at all, and they're there for our disposal and completely customizable. On top of
Do you
that.
think it's the in the moment, just dropping back into, you forget the training and just fall back into
For the emergency button activation, I think it's a culture issue, because we all hit that button accidentally all the time without trying.
right? No doubt about it.
So you know, some departments completely get rid of that function, for that matter. And you know, if you have it programmed correctly, when you hit that button, it should alert all kinds of different people, make noise. You know, some of them have open mics, which if you train like this, there is not a way to hit that button in a training mode. So it takes up space in the dispatch settings and everybody. So departments shy from actually doing the realistic training with it. So people just don't train on it. So if you don't train on it, you're not going to replicate it on the fire ground.
Yeah, I think Bassel's right. And for the guys in the room that maybe don't know this, Project Mayday by Don Abbott years ago was groundbreaking, and Bassel, his team, have resurrected that data. And the first data they've already produced has been, I use it in my classes. Obviously, firefighter rescue survey is they're kind of mirroring each other. And that's data we should all be sharing, and for the instructors in the room, we should be training to those standards. So we look at like the firefighter rescue survey and say, we're looking to get people out of buildings in that 6-minute window. And I think his data, as it keeps developing and we learn more and more and more about packaging, the emergency button, we're going to be so much better. And it's going to take a while, but it's going to be amazing as we get better. And I'm already using that data. I know a lot of firefighters are starting to do that now. And it's amazing to me, the data we can just pull now instantly, like on the fire, you know, like at a training ground, say, this is why we're doing it this way. And we experienced that some today. The guys, just basic skill sets that we don't always drill on. We think we know that skill set until we're doing that skill set. And we realize, oh, maybe I need to work on this. So I think that's a true credit what Bassel's doing, and what Firefighter Rescue Survey just dropped new data with 5,000 rescue you guys have made, which is absolutely amazing data. That's a true credit to the fire service and where we're at today compared to where we were just a few years ago in all reality.
No doubt about it.
Yeah,
For sure. Absolutely.
And beating the drum of the firefighter rescue survey, because I ask almost every class I teach, who knows the firefighter rescue survey? And it used to see lots of people raise their hands. Now you see no one. Like everybody, well, at the conferences you see no one. And again, that you get that rose tinted version of the fire service when you attend fire conferences. You only interact with the top 10%. And so, Todd, you say often that you learn when you go to you learn as much as you you learn it almost as much as you teach. Like, what do you credit in live fire, or the build out, or in just the interaction with the students? What do you think is the most valuable thing as an instructor?
for me, it's the interaction with the students. And we start every hands-on class that it's not my class, it's not my team's class, it's our class. So if we got 20 students or 40 students, I'm always blown. And we tell everybody, please share what you guys know. And we tried some techniques today that somebody picked up from another class, and we tried it under conditions, and some of them didn't really work, but they hadn't really practiced them in the scenarios we were putting them in. So I think that if we all we are smarter as a team than we're ever going to be as individuals. And if I don't know who the smartest guy in this room is. I know it's not me. I know it's not Corley, maybe Bassel, but
definitely not me.
But man, we are such a force when we're on the training grounds together. And I encourage all instructors to do this. Listen to your students. Everybody in this room knows something I don't know. Everybody in this room knows something Bassel doesn't know or Corley doesn't know. And then when we start sharing that information, put the egos to a side. It makes no sense we try to hog information. Somebody in this room knows something right now that could save somebody's life, save one of our brothers' lives, and do a much better job at the fire ground. So we leave that door open from the start of that class all the way through. And it always blows me away. Somebody, hey, have you ever tried this? No, let's try that. And it's amazing what we learn from that, from you guys. We truly do benefit from that. Then I steal the shit out of it, and then I use it in other classes. So.
Yeah. You're just sharing information that works at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful. No, and I want everybody in the audience to know the score right now is internet crowd 3, live audience 0.
Oh, that's horrible.
So I'm going to get the try and drive some people up to that mic by saying the internet right now is getting you. Come ask a question.
Go ahead. Let him up here. Just come on. Come on. Take your shirt off and get up here.
Paul Block's asking a follow-up question to you, Baz. He says, what does the RIT Mayday command structure look like?
The RIT Mayday command structure. Well, that really is going to depend on the type of incident you have, the type of structure you have. So I want to preface this by saying that I'm not a chief,
right?
But I'd study a lot in the command aspect of it and in the RIT aspect of it. And a lot of theories that are out there don't work in real life, okay? And that is not opinion-based, it's actual facts, like switching TAC channels, getting your operational guys to go to a different TAC channel does not work. It's a theoretical theory that works great in that environment. In reality, it does not work. We've tried it in training, and it didn't work even in a training environment when the guys knew about it. We lost accountability and all that stuff. But to go back to answer the question as a structure of the command stuff, okay? It all depends at when that Mayday is dropped, what your response model looks like. Do you have your full complement on scene when the Mayday drops? How many chief officers do you have? Are you gonna decide to scale the structure, or are you gonna keep it? So in a command mode, for me, if I showed up and it's Chief Bassel showing up on scene and I received a Mayday, the first thing I'm gonna do, formalities go out the window, out the door. It's not about sounding good and all commandy on the radio. You're breaking it down to the raw personal aspect of it, get the formality out of it. There is science behind it that once you make that connection with the down fireman, you're able to reduce the stress, reduce the heart rate, reduce the oxygen demand and all, therefore keeping him from going from potentially a condition red to a condition black in the heart rate chart. But you need to receive the Mayday, solicit information, send help, and then decide if you're going to scale the event command-wise, or if you're going to keep it the way it is and use the resources on scene, the interior resources to try to effect the rescue right then and there, okay? So that's my train of thought. If Chief Bassel, I was in charge of an incident commander, a scene as an incident commander, but I would definitely not change tactical channels. I would use my interior companies to try to effect the rescue, give me a visual, get some information. Obviously, second alarm and all that stuff that's being going. So it is going to be scaled until you de-escalate the.
But initially,
Mayday.
you have to make that call.
Initially, yeah. Well, that should be on the dispatch side. If you're doing it right, there's a lot of things that you can pre-plan ahead of time to delegate to somebody else to do. Okay, and that's something we are not good at doing, is pre-planning and delegating those tasks to our dispatch. Dispatch is one of the most underutilized, useful resource we have. But most of them, they're not firefighters. And how often do you actually train with your dispatchers? Do you bring them in when you do training? Do you bring them in when you do command training? They can automatically dispatch a second alarm the minute they hear the stuff. How many people in here or on the audience in your departments, when there is a Mayday declare and the command receives the Mayday, they call it out? What happens with dispatch? They come back, they go, Mayday on the fire ground, da-da-da-da-da-da, and they start talking. What is that doing? Taking valuable airspace that they don't need to do. So what I would say is try to pre-plan as much of the stuff ahead of time with dispatch. Command stay very informal. Receive the information. Talk to the down fireman before you start doing anything else. If somebody calls a Mayday, Chief Bassel received the Mayday, and let's say I'm talking to Jason. Jason called the Mayday. It'd be like, Command Orlando, Mayday received. Hey, Jason, it's Chief Bassel. Hey, bud, what's going on? Slow your breathing down. How much air do you have? Can you tell me what's going on around you? Is there anybody else there? Hey, buddy, turn your pass alarm on. Turn your flashlight on. I got Todd, Corley, and Mikey coming to get you. All right? Once that's over, okay, then we can start doing the other stuff. You may not be able to talk to that fireman again. Get as much information as possible, and then start executing the plan from there. That's my 2 cents on that.
Beautiful.
I don't know if I answered his question. I'm kind of
It was a great. It was an awesome meandering answer. It was good. It was great.
Yeah, it was solid.
And Todd, you were involved in I mean, if you want to hear a breakdown from Chief Rhodes, Chief Edwards, and Chief Wessels, and the firefighter involved, Firefighter Glass.
Yeah, Clark.
288 of the scrap. They break it down beautifully. So you were involved in that.
Yes, yeah, I was the incident commander. And I think everything he said, me and Chief Rhodes had trained an ungodly amount of time with our companies. And one of our first rules to our companies was when we declare a Mayday, the first rule to a Mayday is everybody else shuts up. Because I don't need everybody rambling on the radio. We did not switch TAC channels. He's 1,000% right on that. And we did through training. And what we found, guys were going from TAC 3 to TAC 6. I need them on TAC 4. And now I'm trying to track companies. So we found that to be one of the better things we did. There's a lot of mistakes made at that fire prior to the Mayday. You can take 1,000 classes, and I preach on this all the time. Checkbox training, checkbox Mayday, checkbox command does not work. It works great as a training ground. It works great in my nice clean bay. It does not work in real life. So you have to simulate and really train to those high stress situations. I know what Bassel does in his program, what we do. We've got to create those high stressors. And managing a Mayday is not simply just having a nice little fancy ass command sheet with some dry erase markers. It will not work. I did not write down one thing during the entire Mayday. I literally just walked away, stood by myself, and focused factor 5,000 on what they needed to execute the rescue. And we preach on this too, stop drilling in your bay floors for Mayday and then drag a guy across a smooth bay floor and then high five each other how great you get. It's not realistic. Clark was trapped from was 14 minutes. 14 minutes that man sat there with his arms pinned, trying to just conserve air. So all his survival skills helped him live that day. And then the guys that operate inside, those guys are absolute rock stars in my book. They get him extricated from that building. When they brought him to the window, he took his last breath off that bottle. That's how close we were to a line of duty death. So all those things that we drilled on actually played a huge factor that night. It truly played a factor in Clark living, plus the way Clark trains made a huge factor in Clark surviving that incident. So start setting your drills up realistically. Dragging across the bay floor, that's easy. All of us can do that. Start dragging across wet carpet with sheetrock and furniture and hose lines. Changes the entire perspective of what you do. And when you're doing drills like that, that's my 2 cents. Get rid of your, check boxes are great for a little drill, but real life, man, I didn't even think about check box. It never crossed my mind to be writing crap down that whole time. I was solely focused on the equipment that my firefighters needed to get Clark out of that building.
Beautiful. Great questions. Internet 4, live audience 0. Just keeping track. You guys are doing amazing out there on the interwebs.
And the live audience has a bar.
I know they have a
bar.
not open, but a cash bar back there. So yeah. Now I got a combo question. This has come from Brian Taylor and Dylan Smith. It's a combo question on the topic of RIT, and they said, "What are your thoughts on a dedicated RIT team?" This is Brian Taylor. I'm gonna ask both questions because they kind of combine topics and let you guys run with them. I'll go Bassel first. Bassel, what are your thoughts on a dedicated RIT team standing by outside, never working, versus using on deck crews as a rotating RIT crew? First question. The second one, coming at you from Dylan Smith, is
Do either of your departments assign RIT roles at every working fire, or is it just activating the on-deck crew? So kind of combine those questions and say.
I think utilizing a dedicated RIT crew in a reactive approach is a complete waste of fireground resource. That's not my opinion. Again, it's factual data. You are absolutely wasting your resources. We are here for what? We're here primarily for the public, okay? You can have a RIT team do RIT work without having them being deployed, okay? Being proactive, softening up the structure, being light, mobile, fast, having eyes on the entire structure, obviously depending on the size, right? We're talking probably residential. Or whatnot, is crucial. Now your guys are primed, they're aware, they're reconning. The key to a successful RIT is, the main goal of it is to prevent the Mayday from happening in the first place. Okay, that's the goal. Can you do that every single time? No. You can't predict, medical emergencies or, sudden change of conditions or collapse or things like that. It's the nature of the job. But you can absolutely prevent a crap ton of Maydays by just being proactive without getting overcommitted or involved. You can even assist with fireground functions on the exterior without being committed. Like for us, when I was assigned to the heavy as a fireman, our job on all the fires was RIT. Okay. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that because sometimes we showed up, pretty late, and I think a different unit could have been assigned these roles earlier because we only had one heavy rescue for the entire city. So sometimes our response was kind of far. But however, we got on scene and our job was to soften up the structure, unlocking all egresses, not opening them, unlocking them. You don't want to change the fire behavior without really paying attention to all that. Throwing ladders everywhere. And then we would get on scene. We would do a split 360. Two of us would go to the left. Two of us would go to the right. We meet in the rear, figure out if there's anything that needs to get taken care of. And then we finish the 360. And at that point, the officer and the right jump would stay closest to the hot zone, like right where the fire was or the emergency was. And the other two of us would stage at the other two corners. That way we had a visual on the entire structure the entire time. And at that point, anything that needs to get taken care of, we're here to assist. We're command's eyes in the rear, command's eyes when they're not. If you have a kink in a hose line, guess what? That's a RIT job. Unkink that thing. If you don't stop the fire, it keeps going. That could make a problem. So a lot of these things are very minor that you don't really think about, but if you keep them compounding, those small mistakes, it turns into big problems. So I think that have your RIT proactive, engaged, and primed is the way to go. You talk to some of the safety people and then some of the, people in the higher boards or whatnot, they're like, oh, well, we need our RIT companies to be nice and ready and fresh and da-da-da-da-da, all this bullshit. Okay. So no, this is exactly that. It's a bunch of bullshit. If you cannot literally walk around the structure, pop a couple doors, throw a couple ladders without being depleted, you shouldn't be a fireman. It's simple.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Okay. So there's that.
Beautiful.
I don't know if I answered the second
and his
part,
opinion's spot on. It really is. And I know one of the things we really focus on, so many organizations in this country don't have the resource to have a dedicated RIT. If you're blessed enough to be able to do dedicated rapid intervention teams at every incident, they have to be working teams. That's staying around in what Elena referred to as the shepherd pose. Those, 8 dudes or 4 dudes standing out in the yard just holding up hooks, not doing anything to benefit the fire. And we changed it. It took a long time to change it, but we were throwing ladders. We were softening the building. If you're not familiar with Southwest Atlanta, you have to remove a whole bunch of burglar bars at every house in the Southwest Atlanta. So those are tasks we wanted our RIT to do so I could have my truck companies doing vertical vent and primary search. By doing that, that prevented, I love what Bassel said about preventing the Mayday. Yeah. Something as simple as getting burglar bars off or clearing obstacles off the rear of the structure saved guys' lives. And, you know, you're not going to get credit. You're not getting medals for it, but you knew at the end of the day, that little bit of work you just did probably saved a company's life, because we had guys bailing out windows a couple times they couldn't have bailed out of, but we did our job as the rapid intervention team. So if I can prevent the Mayday, like he said, we're golden every single time. You know, we really are. There's still going to be those outliers, like with Clark and the collapse. There's going to be outliers. I think one of the better case studies is Worcester, Mass, with Jason Menard, and how the hoarder conditions, and one of the driving forces there was us. We heard baby trapped, and things totally escalate when we start hearing certain terms and things on the radio, the way we act and the way we respond simply by hearing the word baby trapped. Changes the whole perspective of how we operate at a fire ground.
Great answers, man. Great questions coming from, well, the internet. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yes, here we go.
Oh, yes, we have a mic guy.
There we go. Give it up.
So
Get on the mic so the internet can hear you.
all right. So for years, I've heard it takes 12 people to get one person out. Other different numbers thrown out. What are you seeing? Real numbers? How many people does it take to get one person out after a RIT?
I can answer that from the Mayday survey that just came out. So the number, one of the questions on there is how many people were directly involved with the rescue of the firefighter in distress? And the average was 6 people had direct contact with the victim from the first 100 report that we got. We didn't analyze. I think we got another, since September when we populated the last report, we got another 49 that came in, and we'll populate all those data, you know, this coming September every year. But it was 6 people directly involved with the victim removal. That's on average over all the stuff, not including obviously your guys on the outside, the EMS teams, and all of that.
And it's a great question. I know a lot of it comes from the Phoenix study, Tarver's.
Yeah, Brett Tarver's study is a really good one. That changed the way we looked at rapid intervention, and that really goes back to that last question. Let's prevent it from happening, because on average for Clark, it was like 12 people to extricate one firefighter time. They unburied him, got him to the window. So there's a lot of working parts, and when we have those incidents happen.
Well, what we see also in like the wombat tour classes that we run, and the smoke diver class, more doesn't necessarily make the solution, the rescue, easier or better. It's more people to manage, more people breathing air, more people in a crowded space, and already a hoarder's condition most of the time. So it's a very fine line. Sometimes you really have to, whoever's, you know, in charge of the actual rescue, the RIT officer or the company officer that's in charge of the rescue, we've seen it where they're like, hey, I don't need all you guys here right now. I appreciate it. Go stage outside, conserve your air, and you can swap in whenever. But sometimes sending more doesn't make the rescue better. Sometimes it does. It all depends on the circumstances. So we can't just say we need 6 people or we need 12 people. We operate in the gray. We don't have black and white situation. I wish we did, but that's not how it is. But the data says 6 people on average over all the Mayday submitted so far.
Great question. Thank you for asking it. I'm trying to encourage more by acknowledging you and saying you did amazing. One thing I wanted to add, which I hadn't even thought about, is the work of search has been out since Thanksgiving of last year, and we're about to get the numbers for how many sold for 2025, and that's going to be funding the firefighter Mayday survey, and that's pretty awesome.
Appreciate it.
So get a copy of the work of search, and keep getting that data. Keep getting that data. So go ahead, Clyde. Hey, use the mic.
Add something. So you're killing me in the back, right? So I don't have a question, but I want to agree 100% with that, what everybody said. My name's Clyde Gordon. I used to work for the Houston Fire Department, and I retired after a couple of years. One of the things is that, like Bassel said, you know, he's not a chief. From the chief's perspective, I want to challenge the chiefs in the room and ask the guys, how many of your chiefs train with you when you do Mayday and RIT training? And I don't mean in that crappy little hole, like I've been in there more than once and I can't do it anymore. But where do you want that battalion chief to be? Crawling through a hole or commanding that incident, right? So I became that guy. I got my driver. We sat in a car, or we took a staging position. And when you said Mayday, 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 engine one driver, I'm whatever. You heard on the fire ground, you heard over the radio, all units on the fire ground, hold your radio traffic. District 8 has a Mayday. OEC send me a second alarm on a different channel. All units on the fire ground, hold your radio traffic. Engine 1 Bravo will have you trapped on Division 2. Interior RIT 7, move on to Division 2. Formal RIT Team 8, move into backup Interior RIT 7. We have a lost firefighter on Division 2. All units on the fire ground, hold your radio traffic. That's how you don't have a change in channels, because the guys understand that when the chief says, hold your radio traffic, it means shut up. And if you hear me, or you see me, or you found me, then you say something on the radio. But I don't care about the pink flamingo that you found in the backyard, right? And that, guess what, brings a lot of confidence to that kid who's lost, or that guy who's lost, right? And then we build from there. And then the other thing, like these guys were saying, 70% of the firefighters who are lost are found by somebody interior. I'm going to tell you right now, from going to a couple of fires, that those guys on the RIT team, they ain't ready. They're out there grabbing ass and talking about their girlfriends and, hey, man, does your wife look as good as she used to, and pissing each other off.
Hey,
right?
Clyde,
Yeah.
we got a chair. Come up here. We don't have a jacket.
I
You
don't
got a
want
chair, though. Come on. You got to come sit down. Someone will bring you. Someone will bring you a beer.
He does. Sit right here, Bunny. We're going to share. We good with that?
Okay. Well,
No, here. Just
that-
don't lean on.
this isn't my intention, but I'm here to, I want to share things that mean something to me, that it may help you, right? And so these guys are in trouble, right? And they're lost. And they need you to take control of that. 70% of them are found by somebody inside that building, whether it's himself or his own crew, or somebody that goes, oh shit, man, I was lost in that closet too. That idiot's right over here. Okay. And that's why we stay on the same channel. But I'll tell you, from running a couple Maydays, that it gets crazy, right? So those guys got to understand that there's a time where we're buddies, and then there's a time when I'm a boss. And when I key that mic, tell you to shut your mouth, shut your mouth. Okay? Because now I'm going to tell him, and I'm going to figure out who that kid is. Hey, that's Billy. Billy, I'm sending so-and-so for you. I'm sending Todd for you. Even if I have to lie to him, Todd's not even at the fire. Don't tell him that that scumbag from Station 2's coming. Tell him that the hero's coming that we all know we have, right? Because you need to boost his confidence. And then we're going to work through that. And those guys that are on the same channel, they know to shut up, and they hear what you're talking about, and they will find that kid, right? And the next thing you do, you find the strongest leader you have. I don't care what color his helmet is. You find the strongest leader you have, and you send him directly as close as he can get to that rescue. And you let him command that by voice, right? Hey, Todd, I need you to get up here and do so-and-so. He may call me and get some more material, get some more people, but he needs to do this face to face. That's how you keep that radio contact fairly low. These things will change what you're doing. A lot of the stuff they teach, and Bassel and them, man, they're 100%, because everything in the back, I'm like, oh, no, that's stupid. And then all of a sudden they go, yeah, no, that's stupid, right? It's the stuff you've been told. I'm going to tell you it don't work. These are the things that work. These guys, what they're telling you now. And you have to concentrate on that, because we have to get them out. That's why I got completely away from a formal RIT team. It was lower on the list, right? I quit telling people, these type A personality firemen that I had, these go-getters who would fight in the front yard to be first in, right? You're not a backup line anymore. You're the interior RIT team. Backup line means, for me, step on Todd's line because I'm second in, and my big ass, he can't stretch that line no further because I got 200 something pounds on it. And then my second in team will be first in team, right? I'm the hero now. I'm putting the fire out. That's what backup means to me. I ain't backing him up, right? He just happened to get there first. But if I change it to an interior RIT team, we understand that RIT means, man, our life sucks. Doesn't he know who we are? But then we start looking at, man, we probably ought to pull some of these burglar bars and throw some ladders because them suckers are up there in the second floor, right? We want to protect our brothers. We don't like it, but we'll do it. If I give you that same mentality on the interior, guess what? You start looking at conditions. You get your guys off to the side of the hallway. You back your senior guy up. Hey, man, back up a little bit. That truck's going to the second floor. You near the stairs? Yeah, boss, I'm near the stairs. Hey, listen for him. I start looking to see what's going on. Then if this goes south, guess what? They already know. Open your nozzle, right? If I just tell them, hey, get out, emergency evacuation, just open your nozzle and we're going to have accountability on them. 1, 2, 3. If I have a sudden collapse in the back, guess what? They don't even have to call the Mayday. Interior RIT 7, emergency traffic. Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. I've had a collapse on the Charlie side. Engine 8 is buried. I'm beginning rescue efforts. Send the interior or send a formal RIT team in to back me up. Send crews from the Charlie side to VES. I need saws and I need so-and-so. I have intel. But if we're just in there trying to beat Todd to the fire and we're fighting fire with him and not paying any attention to what's going on, then we miss all of that and we end up part of the problem. It worked very well for us. But I'm done. Thank you all. Bye.
That was awesome. Hang on, you can answer.
Sorry.
Clyde's here to preach.
Yeah, one of the things that we talked about, just kind of dial that in. If you've not worked on or talked about fire ground discipline, that's really what Clyde's talking about. That discipline on the fire ground. That's where that maturity level, the bosses, understanding we're not going to send disregating 4,000 firefighters like Houston does. Most of us are going to send, we turn around and go, all right, we got 12 dudes at this fire. This is where that discipline of survival, that discipline of rescuing our own all come to play in the interior. The last thing I need is to hear from 5 dudes tell me what color the couch is on the second floor. This, and I'll just say, our guys knew, shut up. I'll play a little bit of the audio in my class tomorrow. The radio goes dead. There's no radio traffic on that Mayday because of the discipline those guys had and the just constant reminder of why we're doing this. Clyde can't answer 42 dudes at a fire once we have a Mayday, if that makes sense. How many questions did you get off of Clyde?
Oh, there's
48.
a stack of questions. There's a stack of internet questions. YouTube is asking some amazing questions. And again, if you have questions, you got to stand up there so I'll see you. So bring it. All right, just checking.
You know, Clyde walked up, took the mic, and then came up here.
No doubt about it.
You may end up here. Be careful if you come up there. You may be up here.
Ryan Woodruff is asking, and he said he wants to know a question on RIT bags. Are they still the most practical tool, or are you seeing rescues happening simply with what the interior teams on deck crews have as a standard complement? What's the value in RIT crews? I'll start right here, Bass.
Most of the actual Maydays, the RIT companies are not using the RIT pack. We're actually in the process of testing RIT bottles that are pony bottles because it just becomes, the RIT pack just becomes literally
An anchor?
weight, an anchor. Now there is benefits to the RIT pack. There's certain type of emergencies where, you know, instead of just reacting based on our training, just snatch and go, hey, you have to prioritize that airway or you're going to be removing a body. Okay. So there is benefits to it, but in most cases, it literally becomes an anchor because not just because of the actual sheer like size and people overpack the RIT pack with all these crazy tools and all these cutters and these like webbing and these 2-to-1s and all this extra crap in there, but they don't train on it. Some departments don't even have RIT pack assigned to every rig. Like some departments only have assigned to in the chief's vehicles. Well, how are you going to get your guys trained up on those? So it's not a tool that is used overtrained on much, but there is value to it. I wouldn't not bring one on a RIT call, but our RIT is bare bones. Literally, it's a bottle, the harness assembly, high pressure, low pressure, and we have a pickoff strap attached to it for multiple various reasons. And you can pre-plan a lot of things where you can set up your RIT pack in a way that is going to be beneficial, where we put IR tape around the UACs. We turn the bottle on before we go in, and there's mixed trains of thought on that, but I have my reasons why we're doing that. Stage 2 carabiners on the low pressure side of the RIT bag for attachment points in the event that we have to do a regulator swap or a mask swap. All of those are low frequency, but they are very high risk. And when you're in an environment with zero visibility, high stress, dexterity issues, and time constraints, you want the least amount of effort and the least amount of thinking possible. So to answer his question, the RIT pack is a good tool if you train with it enough. And we don't. So the data shows that it is not being used even when it's needed.
Necessary.
It's not. People revert to just like their body breathing, which I think is not a good tool for most of the cases, because now you're tethered to them, you're taking your air and all this stuff. But there is better ways to design RIT packs, and definitely, regardless of what it is, know the limitations and train on it. Just like everything else. If you have the equipment and you don't train on it, it might as well be this thing right here, right? Knowledge is not everything. People say knowledge is power. It's not. Knowledge is not power. Action is power. Knowledge without action is just stored potential. Like, you know the shit, but if you don't apply it, train on it, and use it, it's just fucking right there sitting in your head and not useful. So that's my answer for that.
Great answer. Anything you want to add? Go
I
ahead.
really don't think there's anything to add to that.
Yeah, it was, covered it well.
That was awesome. Yeah, that's good.
And the good part is,
Oh, wait,
the,
shit, Clyde's got something.
You know I got.
Do not. You got me deeper than
hey, if
knowledge.
you need a drink, Clyde?
No.
Okay. Todd?
I mean, the last I heard was, Bill Dowling was the only guy that had ever been brought out on a RIT pack that was still actually breathing. He was one of our firefighters that died in the the motel fire, one of the 5. So, I mean, I agree 100% that if you're not skilled with that piece of equipment, then it's basically just an anchor for you. Now, there is a time to just get me out, right? If I'm a minute from the door and it's going to take you 6 minutes to hook this thing up, just get me out. But you have to be skilled at what you do, and we do overcomplicate everything. There's a lot of stuff that sounds really good in theory, but place yourself in high heat, zero visibility, and then make it happen. I can look in a lot of y'all's bunker pants, and I promise you there's crap in there that you'll never be able to do in some of the scenarios that I could place you in, okay? It's not because you stink. It's because it's just impossible, right? And our fire departments do not place the importance of zero visibility and high heat conditions. 86% of your fire victims are found in that environment, yet we are scared to death to place our firefighter in that environment. So it would be like, hey, Clyde, you're going to play golf with Tiger Woods tomorrow, and if you lose, 3 of us will die. Well, I don't even own golf clubs, okay? And the only reason I use Tiger Woods' name because he's the only guy I know, right? So you guys are screwed, right? But at 4 a.m. when we roll in to someone's home and you're trapped or a kid is trapped, we've done nothing to prepare you, and then we expect you to be successful, right? And that is the drawback, because you'll get cancer and you'll tear up our gear and yada, 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 whatever, okay? We haven't prepared you. So you have to seek the opportunity to be prepared, whether it's on your own. Man, you may have to invest in what your career is, right? because you need to be comfortable in that crappy environment, because no one gets trapped in a room that looks like this because they'd walk out the door like we will when it's over. But it's when it's terrible is when firefighters get in trouble. And if you have 25 feet of webbing and you think you're going to do some monkey knot on a butterfly twist, it ain't happening. It ain't happening.
Yeah, I love that you said that, because we actually, one of the first things we did in the class today, we had everybody show us their pockets and see what you were carrying. There's some interesting videos out there that we're just going to wrap this big loop around a civilian inside the engine room floor, and it works awesome. It's never going to happen in real life. I love what Bassel said, dirty grabs. That's what we teach. That's what we preach on. Get away from all the tricks. One of the first things I told the guys today, there's no such thing as advanced firefighting. It's still basic skills. Opening a nozzle is not an advanced skill. Putting on turnout gear is not advanced skill. Dragging a firefighter 20 feet to a door is not a damn advanced skill. We have people out there saying it is. Total bullshit. It's not advanced. Every time you get in trouble, you're going to revert to your basic skill sets. Master your basics. You're never going to lose. You're never going to lose. You're going to put out more fires and be more successful, make more grabs than whipping out some bullshit 40-foot piece of webbing with 10 carabiners on it, thinking you're going to wrap somebody up in that. What was that knot?
Yeah, I don't read it.
He says monkey reverse up your butt knot or something. You're not going to do it. You're never going. It's like lunar. If you're still losing lunar, stop doing that. In my opinion, yeah, Bassel may disagree on lunar. That lunar shit's crazy too. You're not going to do a lunar report.
I totally agree with it.
Yeah, not going to do it.
You won't remember your middle name when you're dying. You for sure won't know what the friggin' N in lunar is.
Nope.
I'll just tell you. Okay? So we went from who, what, and where to just give me the where.
Where?
Right? Because if you say
The internet.
Mayday, 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 this is Gordon. That's it. Well, great. It's a 7,000 square foot home. I got 7,000 square feet to search. If you say Mayday, 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 Division 2 Charlie, man, you just made my life a little easier, right? So get out of all this crap that sounds great, that people think is awesome, but have never gone to a friggin' Mayday in their life. I need to know where you are. Tell me where you are. I don't really care who it is. That'll get there, right? Because is Johnny like this guy? Or is Johnny more like me? I'm probably going to die before Bassel, right? His resting heart rate is like 2. Mine's probably 110. Okay. So you see what I'm saying? Those things matter in time, but I need to know where he is because that's going to narrow down the search. Sorry.
You're good. We just have to use the mic because of the internet.
I know.
The internet's this advice. It's, gets information out worldwide. I know.
We have a live audience
got one.
question.
Yay.
There we go.
Thank you. With all this Mayday talk and the preaching against the commercially made devices.
Get up on there. Get up
Come
on
on,
there.
baby.
Get up on there like you
I
love
got
that
it.
mic.
With the first 100 you did see out of your survey, is there a number out of that? How many attempts there were to use a commercially made device that was
Zero.
unsuccessful?
Packaging.
Awesome.
0. Not pack conversion, not commercial device, not webbing, not pick-off strap that we teach or we preach when it's necessary. 0 of them have been packaged
Cool.
from
I
the
appreciate
data.
it. And how many were unconscious or incapacitated members?
We can
Just out
pull
of
it up
curiosity, I
right
haven't
now. I
seen it.
mean, on the survey, I can't think on top of my head as far as unconscious, but it's all on the report.
Cool.
I mean, I don't want to just give you random numbers, man.
No, you're
It's
good.
the data is accessible. Firefightermaydaysurvey.com. You can click on the report and it'll be on there. I mean, it's extensive. I don't know if it says on the summary or not, or the bullet points. But I'll give you an answer before we leave. I'll pull it
All right.
up and give
Appreciate
you.
it.
Yeah, man.
Anywhere in here, or are you good?
It's on there.
So
Yeah.
We won't look it up right now.
Why-
I'll look
why
it
do
up
you
while
think-
somebody answers.
I have a question. Why do you think it was why weren't they packaged? We
Well-
all got crap in our pockets.
Well, couple things. They may not have needed it for one, just grab and go, which is good. But when we did the interview, some of them were needing to go up or down stairs or up and over a window, and guys still did not package. And they said that they believe that it would have helped the evolution. So as to why they didn't do it, it could be just a tunnel vision thing, or a lack of practice thing, or hey, this shit is not training, it's real, and that's what I'm doing. Or I think I can get him out or get her out without it, and damn, it's slipping, or damn, it's not, it's falling off, but I'm too close now, let me try to finish it off. So it could be a bunch of different factors, but that's what I think, at least.
No, I think he's right. It's that tunnel vision. And I think the part that we're kind of missing, and data's great, there's that human element. There's a big difference between me grabbing a stranger and grabbing a brother. And I think that's where that tunnel vision can really dial in. That's where that training element really comes into place. I'm not taking away that we're grabbing a civilian life, but here's a guy I just went fishing with. Here's a guy whose wedding I was in. Here's a guy whose kids play with my kids. It's a totally different mental thing. That's very hard. You cannot drill to that level. It really can't. That's why we add those stressors in. And I don't know if there's a way to capture that data, but I think that's where we're kind of at. If it's one of my brothers, it's a totally down. All I want to do is get Clyde out of the house. I don't care how I get him out of the house. And I think that tunnel vision is probably a bigger factor because it's one of our friends. I think that is a huge difference, and it's hard to capture some of that data. So that's a great question.
No, it's been, I've loved the discussion. I mean, we really actually dug into Mayday survey and RIT today a lot. And there's other questions in here. Most of them are still around Mayday, RIT, Mayday training, but I want to swing and I'm going to pivot a little bit and say, Dawson Lundy had a question, which was for both. With a smaller rural department that has anywhere from 1 to 10 members responding to a working fire, what are the best tools to carry for self-rescue?
My personal opinion, for when we talk about self-rescue, the best tool I'm carrying is my brother next to me. In all reality, there's not, I know Bassel may have something better. I don't think there's a direct best tool. The best tool you have is your to me, your brain first. If I can think through problems, and guys that maybe were in the room from our class, the first thing they heard me say all day, think, just think, slow down and think. That's, to me, the best tool is your brain. You can carry all the webbing and fancy, $3,000 tools you want, but I don't know if there's unless Bassel or somebody else knows, I don't know of an exact what's the best tool.
Sure.
I'd say your radio and multiple flashlights would be a huge advantage too.
I love that answer about your brother. I love that answer. And go ahead.
Yeah. So, I mean, I echo exactly what you're saying. I'll tell you what I carry and what I found valuable in any circumstances. Light, mobile, and fast. That's how you want to be, okay? You're able to move faster, accomplish your task faster, use less energy, use less air from your bottle. I carry 3 wedges, okay, 2 wood and a metal, 2 sets of cutters, 1 on the upper body, 1 on the lower body, and 1 on either side. I carry a pick-off strap because I could use it for packaging. I could use it for bailout. I could use it for setting up anchor. I could use it to, if I'm feeling like I want to do some engine shit, wrap an engine hose line and like pull that shit because I'm allergic to it. Mm-hmm. 2 sets of flashlights for sure, because when you turn the lights on, everything is exponentially easier, right? Not that flashlights make every circumstance easier, right? Smoke, depending on the smoke density, flashlights could actually make it worse, right? So what can help you see in the smoke? A tick. Okay, you don't need to have a big old giant tick, but a little small situational tick camera with you makes everything super, I'm not going to say super easy, but it makes things easier, better. Okay, so that's what I carry on me. That's it. As far as a tool, there is not one tool that solves all the problem. One of the most versatile tools we have, hand tools, is a Halligan. So that's my tool choice anytime I'm working a fire, but I agree with what you said, man. I mean, and then set yourself up for rescue, set yourself up for success ahead of time. Make sure you're dressed anatomically correct. Buckle up your waist strap. We go one step further. If you look at, I have some pictures and stuff, but on our SCBA shoulder straps, buckles, on our UAC, on our pick-off strap carabiners, on our UAC, we put IR tape, infrared tape, which is glow-in-the-dark tape that your tick can see, okay? So now you're just making everything easier, the rescue easier. So if you prepare yourself and you set yourself up for success ahead of time, then you're just making it easy for the guys to come rescue you if you can't do the rescue yourself. There's a lot more to that, but in a nutshell, that's my short answer for this.
Yeah, I think you can combine, and you ask everybody in this room, they're gonna have little things. I love we harped on cutters today. We harped on the basics all day, flashlights, cutters. We did pick-off strap, a little bit pick-off strap stuff today, but yeah, all basic stuff, nothing advanced, no advanced stuff we're talking about. We're not gonna have like plasma cutters or anything crazy like that. That helped that guy's question.
No, I think you guys are covering it well. I have one coming at Clyde, so go ahead.
Sorry. The other thing is slow the game down. Right here is a huge part of it, right? If you're standing in this room in the middle of the floor and the roof falls in, you're in trouble, right? Why would you do that? Stand in the door, stand against the wall. We get excited and we get ahead of ourselves. Try to mature as a firefighter, right? And just slow the game down just a little bit. I agree 100%. I carry everything that he carries, but I also never stood in the middle of an open room. I'd stand next to the door. I'd stand in the doorway. I'd grab my guy and say, quit doing that. Stand over here by me. Because you just don't ever know what's going to occur, right? So a lot of those things, having an idea, and there was a window back there. It just somewhere in the back of my brain, there was a window back there. I didn't really pay much attention, but I saw it because when this goes south, that's where we're going, right? So, and if you're a boss, make your guys look at that stuff, grab them, explain to them as things go by. Hey, pay attention to this.
I don't know who it's. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Bass.
Jason over here looked up the answer for how many firefighters were found unconscious in the last survey report. It was 2.5%. Okay, so 2.5 firemen out of 100, out of the 100 reports that we put out were found unconscious before removal. Thanks, Jason.
I hope your question wasn't for Todd. Go ahead.
Kind of a circle back to what y'all were talking about the RIT functions on scene. If you have, say, you're heavy on scene and you're assigned a dedicated RIT team or assigned as a dedicated RIT team, is there anything you wouldn't want an on-scene dedicated RIT team doing? I know you've went into detail about things you'd want them doing, throwing ladders, forcing doors, stuff like that. Obviously, what Chief Clyde said about grab ass and asking about that kind of stuff. Is there anything you can think of off the top of your head that you just wouldn't want?
No-Gos, like don't do this stuff. Okay.
For us, the expectations were clear from our officer and all our command staff is we are not to commit to interior operations unless otherwise advised to do so. When we're assigned proactive RIT functions, okay? Now, what we would do is, let's say we have a fireman dropping in the window on the second floor for a VES or whatnot. If we're assigned that side, one of us would jump up with a tick, scan the room for him, make sure the conditions are good, maybe give him a heads up. And obviously, if he's bringing a victim out, we're going to assist with that removal. That's priority, right? But the no-gos, as far as the no-gos goes, is do not commit to interior operation. Do not overcommit. Stay with your softening assignments and your prevention of the Mayday tasks on the exterior. That was for us. I don't know in
No, I agree 100%. The overcommitment, and then I don't want to have to look for you, right? I need to be able to look over and go, there they are. Hey, go. And if you're over here cutting holes and you know what I mean, like you're just way too committed. And not to mention very likely you'll be exhausted, and the RIT is going to be a whole nother level of work. So that was the biggest thing.
Great question. Thank you for asking. All right. Dr. Chief Candace Ashby had one coming at you. It said you said 2 wooden and 1 metal wedge. Is there a reason for that?
Yes, there is. Sometimes, depending on the frame that you're capturing, or the type of, I guess, areas that you're trying to wedge, if it's metal on metal, it may slip out. The wood wedge kind of conforms a little bit with pressure to whatever you're driving it in. So we found that sometimes a hold capture a little bit better than a metal. But there is definitely advantages to have a stronger metal piece as well, depending on the type of wood. So we carry 2 wood and then a metal wedge. That's what I carry.
Right.
That's my answer
No,
for that.
that's a good reason. Hey, okay, everybody, he's back. We got to quit talking about him.
There's a couple beers involved here.
This one, and I know this is a big, long answer, Chief, and I'm not asking you to teach the entire class, but someone asked, Andrew Johnson, actually out of Kansas, he said, can Chief Gordon speak to the LODD changing his perspective on addressing an underperformer versus just transferring them? Kind of hits the buddy to boss problem and Mayday topics. And I know that's huge. Yeah.
Yeah. So what he's asking about is, I had a firefighter that was assigned to me, and I knew he had a lot of problems. And there's 100 fire stations where I work, right? So the easiest thing to do with a problem is go, you don't fit in here. How about you go anywhere to these 99 times 4, because there's 4 shifts, any other place but here. And when I did that, it was actually his decision, but I let it happen, and I didn't address any of the issues that he had. And about 6 months later, he died in a line of duty death. A lot of those things I knew he had problems with. I could have addressed a lot of it, and maybe just 1 or 2 of them would have possibly saved his life. So what that did for me was it changed how I did everything. I realized that even though you and I are buddies, there's a business side of things and a friendship side of things. And if you're failing, then I have to address that. And it doesn't matter if you're a firefighter sitting next to another firefighter in the rear, or if you're an engine boss with guys in the rear, you have to address that. And you just have to look at it and see, where are the problems? What is the cause of the problem? And where do I begin to make this better? If it hurts his feelings, it hurts his feelings. But you have to address it, because it has to do with the integrity of the crew, because the weakest link, right? It has to do with, I have to live the rest of my life after knowing you had problems and now you're gone, and I could have done something about it. And not to mention all of these really good guys sitting next to me, they're going to try to kill themselves to fix you, right? So you have to address problems. You set expectations. You figure out where they're coming from. Do they just not know? Do they don't care? Have they just given up? What's their issue? You deal with that. And then you hold people to expectation, right? And then as soon as they meet your expectation, you just raise the expectation. And so every single day you're working. The way you go 30, 40 years in this career and not be crazy is, you know that every single day you did the best you could. And then if the best you could wasn't good enough, the next day you worked on being better than you were the day before. Does that make sense? And you do that with your, whatever you're in control of, an engine, a truck, a district, it doesn't matter. You fix it, right? That way, when you lay your head down at night and things didn't go the way you had planned, you did the very best you could. But you know, tomorrow, hey, we found some stuff we could have done better. We're going to work on that. That's really what it boils down to, because it's about people. Whether it's the people you work with, the people you go home to, or the people you respond to, you have a responsibility to those people to be the best you can. But we're all human. On a Tuesday, we think we're the best we could possibly get. Then all of a sudden, Wednesday morning, we're like, oh, crap. We could have been better than that, right? So guess what? On Thursday, we show up and we try to fix all that. That's what it all boils down to. Your arrogance and ego will allow you to go, man, I'm solid, but that guy sucks. I'll just send him down the road. We can't do that. We cannot do that, because all of a sudden there's a wife and kids who don't have a dad anymore, and maybe you could have made a difference.
Thank you.
I think one of the things that I've obviously I'm blessed to get to teach alongside Chief Gordon quite a bit, but it's our priorities in the fire service. We screw up our priorities, and I do this with officer development. I don't give a shit about a dirty coffee cup or that the trash didn't get taken out. I want to prioritize making that next firefighter better. And we don't always do that, because we allow ourselves to get wrapped up in the day-to-day, just, and to be honest, it's bullshit. Some of the stuff we get so worried about is just bullshit. If we could focus on making that next guy better. When we lost Stephen Solomon, it was solely based on that we prioritized car seat training over firefighter survival training. And that will never, ever leave me. And it changed my entire career, the way I looked at training after that. Because I could have stopped it, but I didn't, because I was young. I was a lieutenant. I was like, okay, I'll do that. And I should have. And I look back now, if that was today, I would just have punched Chief, I'm not going to say his name, in the face, because he was that dumb. He was that dumb to prioritize something that I can get a lot. One, if you have to have somebody show you how to put a car, like tighten a seatbelt, that's a priority issue. But we made that a priority over a firefighter being trapped. And it changed the way I looked at firefighting and the way we look at training, and made it a priority. I didn't give a shit about coffee cups and overflowed trash cans for one damn day, or the truck was a little dirty. Let's focus on the guys. Let's focus on making everybody in this room one tick better tomorrow. And all of us have that ability. Everybody on, not just us, all you guys do. From everybody in this front row to the very back row, always have that ability to make everybody we work with and teach and talk to, one tick better. We're so close to being just right back to where we're amazing, truly amazing, with guys like Bassel, Firefighter Rescue Survey with Brian Brush and those rock stars, and and Corley knows he hates when I say shit like this. What Corley's doing for the fire service is really underappreciated. The way he's delivering this stuff all the time, man, it's amazing. Except when you sit in his class and you have a seizure watching him walk all over the damn room. But we are so close to it. We are getting so much better. And the young guys in this room, you guys are absolute rock stars. You'll see shit we'll never see. Well, especially Clyde won't see most of it, but but I just want to add that prioritize. I think what Clyde's saying is it's about prioritize.
I want to say you guys have killed it tonight, and I could sit here and listen to you tell stories, answer questions, field questions, explain your thought processes all night long. But I'm going to put a bow on it, because we got an after party to do and hanging out here. But I want to give each of you a chance to give a parting shot, just to the live audience here and the internet audience, what message you want to leave them with. But before I do that, usually we do the 5 questions for firefighters. With 3 people up here, I'm not going to do 15 questions for firefighters. So what instead I'm going to do is imagine the scene from Backdraft, where he slaps that cassette tape into that tape deck. What song are you playing while en route? And this lives on in perpetuity forever, because it's on the Spotify playlist. So what song is that song for you? Baz, I'll start with you.
I have 2. I'm going to change mine, I guess, from the last time, just for some variety.
Just keep on. Yeah, go for it.
I'll give you 2. They're both classics.
Okay.
One is Eye of the Tiger.
Okay.
And the other one is a Rocky Balboa song when he's running up the stairs.
Just the theme song.
The theme song from Rocky.
Okay.
It's like the about to be victorious song.
Yeah.
I know exactly.
Yeah, I know exactly. You're going with the heavy Rocky theme right there, with Eye of the Tiger and the.
That's it.
We'll get them at it. And here's the deal. Usually you get in trouble or not in trouble. You don't get max points if you give more than one answer. But this is a special scrap with special 5 questions. So max points for your 2 songs. Go ahead, Todd.
So I'll probably be the only person in this whole room that knows this song. It's 5 Finger Death Punch. Welcome to the circus. That's us. We are the circus. And I just I love the drive, the beat, and everything. I know Clyde's ever going, what's that music I like?
Kill the puppy music.
My wife calls it kill the baby music. Like, like I have to change the channels when my wife's with me. But yeah, just something about that song. I just like that hard, I feel like it's the fire service where it's just, God damn, let's get, oh shit. It's literally playing in my head right now. It's going to be some Hank Williams shit, I guarantee.
No. Yeah, it's kill the puppy music. So kill the puppy, kill the puppy, kill the puppy. First, I'd like to thank everybody. I mean, I had a question. I really didn't mean to hoard in on their scrap. This is their thing.
He meant
right. This is Bassel and Todd. Jerks. I mean, I'm thankful that they let me come up here. It's not really what I intended, but I would do a Highway to Hell, some AC/DC, right? Some old school stuff. But yeah, that I'm just thankful that y'all gave me a few minutes, and I really didn't mean to scrap into your scrap.
It's been awesome.
But
it's been awesome. No apology needed.
Thank y'all so very much.
Well, keep it, because I'm going to start with you on parting shot. Parting shot.
Okay.
Whatever you want to send to L.I.F.T, whatever you want to send to the internet, just your parting shot.
Okay, so I guess one of the biggest things I've learned, you get older and life teaches you a lot of lessons, and you just get friggin' old and realize there's more important stuff than others. It used to be about making one more fire, and don't think that if we don't make a fire right now, I won't go. I mean, I've been threatened with jail and everything else for going to fires, but shut up, Todd. Right? But what I really truly understand now, that it's about people, like I told you a minute ago, and you guys as firefighters have no idea what the impact that you have on the people around you, whether they're a firefighter or just some kid from the street. And people respect you and they look up to you. And just know, I know this job sucks, and not always, but sometimes, right? And some people don't deserve your best because they're just jerks. But there are people out there who need you. And when you think, man, I just can't work one more day for this friggin' mayor, or if they don't give me a raise, I'm leaving, or whatever, that has nothing to do with it. You're there for people who need you. And just give your all. The reason you train is because of people. The reason that I was always the first one out of the house was because of people. Had nothing to do with the people that I worked for, right? And my life has been impacted and lives have been changed because of the fire service and the people that I've met and been able to be with over the years. So when you get old and you're retired and you look back, when you have a retirement party, I can tell you from experience, none of them jerks who are in charge of anything will even come. Not one administrator, not one assistant chief came to my retirement party. But there were tons of people that were my friends that had impacted me and that I had impacted that were there. And I didn't miss one of those other guys. So it's about people. You bust your ass for the people that you serve with and that you serve.
I'm just going to build off what Clyde said. As he was saying, I was like, oh, man, he just stole all my shit like he always does. Just kind of look around the room right now. And I really, is one of the coolest things, and I think the three of us, or all of us up here in a lot of the instructors room, I don't take these opportunities for granted. I am so blessed to be able to do what I do, and what's makes it better is my wife's a part of it, my family's a part of it. I don't look at you guys as just some student. I really consider, and there's so many guys in this room I see year after year and at different events, like we're all family. And we need to appreciate that sometimes. I think we forget how close and how lucky we are. I guarantee you there's nobody at some bullshit IBM Zoom meeting right now talking shit like we're talking and drinking beers and having fun and talking crap and enjoying each other's company. It is such a blessing that if you can always remember that, even on that worst day, like Clyde's talking about the shitty mayor, the city council, man, I got you guys. And I know I always have these guys, and we have each other, we have our families, and we have this other family. We have such a unique thing that we forget about how unique we are to have this family that, you know, I was at his retirement party. I was at Steve Robertson, one of our great friends, all of us together. I couldn't make Corley's. My wife went to Corley's retirement party. That's the family we build together. And like, how often do I see you? Like every time I see you got a camera, you didn't take shit for pictures today, by the way, young lady. But I see so many regular faces, and it's such a blessing to have that, to be able to, I know I'm going to walk in and go, oh, I know that person. I know that. Oh, I just met that person. That's the blessing. Do not forget how great we really have it, guys. Do not forget that. And you'll be blessed the rest of your career, seriously.
I don't know how I'm going to follow this. Good timing here, but I'll just give you a little bit of advice that it took me pretty much 20 years in this job to figure out. Is people like us sitting in this room, we can get very aggravated and very frustrated with everything that goes on in the fire service. Why? Because we care. You care about the outcome. You care about the people in your department. You care about the people we serve. You want to see the department progress, get better. And when you have people in positions that you disagree with, higher positions, that are trying to sabotage, or they're just doing something that is not aligned with your vision of being a good servant professional, it's very aggravating for people like us. But it took me a really long time to figure out that I cannot control that stuff. And the minute you realize that you can only control the things that are in your sphere and in your bubble, you will be 1,000 times happier. You will be more productive for your crews, direct supervisor, and everybody below you. And then your family will benefit from you not being aggravated and all that stuff. And if everybody had that same mindset that you have, if everybody just worried about their own bubble, make your bubble the best bubble possible, then in theory, everything will fix itself. And it took me literally 20 years to figure out. And I still, to this day, get a little bit aggravated, and I'm like, nope, I'm not going to let it happen. That's one thing. It's very difficult for us to do because we care. You don't want to stop caring. That's bad. But you want to just start worrying and influencing and taking care of your bubble. And that's how you make micro changes for the better. And that's infectious. The other companies will see that. They may not emulate it right away, but they will eventually. And if they don't, fuck them. Your company is good. Your house is good. You know? So that's that. And perfect ending. All right. I won't say my second one.
That is beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Housekeeping. That officially makes 344 scraps in the books. I have to be careful, everybody, in case you're wondering. If you're on the scrap, it counts. And Clyde Gordon was on the scrap tonight. That's number 4, buddy. So I have to be very careful about I got to be careful. So I can't tell you thank you enough for taking the time to be live here. I can't say thanks enough to L.I.F.T and everybody involved in the Louisiana Firefighter Foundation that made this happen. It's fun. It's exciting. I know the audience and the internet enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it out there. And now it's the after party. So we'll hang out. I'm going to hook up this computer, hopefully, for any of the vigilantes out there. It'll be on the Discord, and hopefully people can come up and talk to the camera and hang out with everybody. Vigilantes, here's the rest of it. If you're not a vigilante, be one. Patreon.com, the Vigilantes. Amazing. The Discord is running. We're always hanging out, doing stuff. They are the like-minded souls. I say that each and every time. Next week on the scrap, it's the man behind the Hazard Class podcast. It's Jake Ricks. Amazing. I had such a fun conversation with him. I had to have him on. That's going to be great. 2 weeks from today, one of my favorite people on the planet. He's one of my top 2 Stone brothers, Chief Shannon Stone. You know I'm excited to have him back on. Enough jabbering from me. Thank all 3 of you. Thank you all for investing in yourselves being here and improving the fire service. It means the world, makes a difference. Internet audience tonight carried the bulk of it. Thank you, the ones that were brave enough to step up to the mic, but the audience always is what makes the scrap magical. It would not exist without you. Thank you for being here live, tuning in live. Remember, mutts don't scrap. I hope the tone stays silent. Remember, this job will never be safe, so stay smart out there.